Greetings from Elite English Academy. Dear friends, in this video I am going to discuss the strategies to prepare for Unit 6 of PGTRB English syllabus. As a part of this, I have discussed 2017 and 2019 PGTRB questions. This is the last video in this series. Already all the 9 previous units are discussed. So this is the topic wise question distribution in the last 2 years. If you take the syllabus, you can identify a particular pattern. For example, regarding poetry, we have Walt Whitman's Out of the Cradle, Endlessly Rocking, Emily Dickinson's Because I Could Not Stop for Death, Robert Frost, Mending Wall, Birches, West Running Brook, and Sylvia Plath's Daddy. So these are the detailed work. In non-detailed, we have E.M. Foster's Passage to India, Cummins' The Cambridge Ladies, then Hart Crane's poem 2, Brooklyn Bridge. Then afterwards, in fiction, we do not have any detailed or non-detailed distinction. So I have given it in the detailed section. The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain, Moby Dick by Melville, and The Old Man and the Sea by Hemingway. Then again in prose we have the distinction of detailed and non-detailed. In detailed section, Emerson's The American Scholar and Faulkner's Nobel Prize Acceptance Speech. In non-detailed section, Thoreau's Walden, then James Thurber's The Owl in the Attic. These are the works. Then in the next genre, fourth genre, drama, in detail section we have Eugene O'Neill's The Hairy Ape, then Arthur Miller's famous work The Death of a Salesman, and in non-detailed study we have Tennessee Williams' A Streetcar Named Desire, Edward Albee's Who is Afraid of Virginia Woolf. So all these interesting works are available in this particular unit. Regarding the questions in both 2019 and 2017, there are 8 questions. Here, if you closely analyze that, there are some areas in which repeatedly questions are asked. For example, in poetry, in 2019, there was only one question, and one question in detail and one question in non-detail. In fiction, in 2019, 2 questions, and in prose, surprisingly, in 2019, in detail section, there is no question. Whereas in non-detailed section, we have 2 questions. In drama, in 2019, there is in detail in the Death of a Salesman 1 question, and in non-detail, A Streetcar Named Desire, in which there was another question. So if you take 17, the distribution is different. For example, in poetry, we have 3 from detail and 1 from non-detail. Again in fiction, though there are 3 fiction, only 1 question was asked. In prose, again in detail section there is no representation, whereas in non-detail we have 2. In drama in 2017, in detail there is no representation, whereas in 2017 only 1 question. So it shows a pattern. So that is, based on the syllabus, each unit should have 11 questions. But this unit does not have in both the years 19 and 17. And altogether, there are some works continuously ignored. So normally when a new question is set every time, it is quite natural old question papers will be given to the question setters. So invariably, there are some question setters who will be looking for questions from the works that are not figured in the previous exam. For example, here the work here there is no question, so you have to concentrate more. Like that, the famous work Mending Wall, Birches here, then Daddy, that is altogether ignored. So you can concentrate on this also. Like that, in Cambridge Ladies, there is no representation, so better you can concentrate this also. Regarding fiction, So there is no question from the adventures of Huckleberry Biffin. Better you concentrate on it. Then in prose, so from these two, the American scholar and Nobel Prize acceptance speech, there is no question so far. So better you concentrate on it. The Owl in the Attic, it is an interesting story collection. At the same time, last time only basic question was asked. We'll discuss the question later. Then another surprising factor is from the Hairy Ape, there was no question in both the years. So this is one of the very important works by O'Neill. So better you concentrate on this, and you cannot ignore the work The Death of a Salesman, because in the postmodern era, so that is one of the most important works. Then the other things. So here from this we understand. So no work should be ignored, since a particular work is ignored in a particular year. So my point here is, since some works are not at all lost in the last 2 or 3 years, definitely there is a possibility in that there may be more questions. So better you can concentrate on it. Okay, based on this, let me discuss the questions in detail so that you can get something out of it. So the first question in 2019, what do the people call the sea in Spanish when they love her in the novel The Old Man and the Sea? Actually, it is one of the very deeper level question. So I have a book in which in page number 23 you can just go through it, right? So first let me read the options. La, ma, then el nino, el salvador, le amor. So the language referred by the writer here is Spanish. So according to the book, in the same page number 23, so 3 words are mentioned. First, as mentioned here, la, ma, right? Second one, el, ma, right? So please note down. So the textual lines go like this. He always thought of the sea as la ma, which is what people call her in Spanish when they love her. So whenever the Spanish people love the sea, they call it as la ma, because it is like every time it is giving something. So it is the source of the people's livelihood. So in the same page, after a few lines, you can see. So there are some people who use motorboats, bought when the shock livers bad brought much money, right? So here there are some people who are killing whales and sharks for money. So they are not using sea for their livelihood, whereas they use the sea for more money, making more money. In that case, so people call her as Elmar. Elmar, it is masculine. Please make a note of it. It is masculine. So Lama refers to female, right? Whereas Elmar refers to masculine. Probably next time when the question setter is asking the question, this kind of deviation may be there. You can note down. So in Spanish, people call the sea both as male and female, mostly male in a positive sense, which is referred in Spanish as la mar. So whenever people use the sea for wrong reasons, especially for making money, they call the sea as elma, which represents masculinity. So that's how the writer has written here. Now we are moving to the next question. 2. What, according to James Thurber, is the quality which certain words and phrases have of suggesting a theme song like Heaven Lily Vine? So it is a very pointed question. So here this particular work, this particular question is from The Owl in the Attic. So you have to become familiar with this particular work because it consists of 3 parts. Part 1, which is named as Mr. and Mrs. Monroe. Part 2 is referred as the Pet Department. Part 3 is mentioned as Ladies and Gentlemen's Guide to Modern English Usage. So here the pointed question goes with the answer the thematic potentiality. There is not much thing to explain here. The thematic potentiality. Now question number 3. Pick out the group that contains the names of ships that were ready for a 3-year voyage in the novel Moby Dick. So interestingly, most of the names given here are ship's name. They are figuring in the novel here and there. But especially in this particular chapter, there are 3 names that refers to 3 ships. So they are ready for a the voyage for 3 years. So it is a factual question. Devil Dam, Tidbit and Pequod. So these are the 3 ships. They were waiting to set the sail for a 3 years journey. And here all the other things also refer to the ship. Question number 4. We passed the school where children strew at recess in the ring. We passed the fields of gazing grain. We passed the setting sun. Actually, first, when the questions are asked based on textual lines like this, first you have to identify from which poem these lines are given. So if you analyze and understand that, definitely answering will be easy. So here from the work, already you know it is from the work. That is because I could not stop for death, right? So it is based on that, the options: the poet and death, the poet and a friend, the poet and a lover, a solitary thrush. So once you understand this is from this particular work, because I could not stop for death, definitely you can easily choose option A. So here I would like to point out one thing. So the entire theme of the poem is summarized here. For example, this particular poem talks about the 3 stages of life, right? So first we pass school, so the young age, right? Stage 1, young age, right? So where the children are in jubilant mode. At recess in the ring, we pass the fields of gazing grain. So the second stage is middle age. So this is the age in which people work hard for making their livelihood. So here when they cross the field, so there are people who are working, they are looking at us. So here according to this poem, so the death, the poet is taken, the narrator is taken in a chariot to the graveyard, right? The third one, so we pass the setting sun. Sun refers to evening, so it is death, right? So this particular stanza consolidates all the 3 stages of life, that is youth, then the middle age, then the death. So if you have these ideas in your mind, definitely questions related to this can be answered very easily. Question number 5. In the poem To Brooklyn Bridge, the poet is able to see the shadows clearly in. Actually, if you go through the textual lines, this is one of the easiest answers. So here the poet is talking about her experiences. So here look at the question, the way question is framed in the poem To Brooklyn Bridge. The poet is able to see the shadows clearly in. Actually, so when in the season like autumn, the sun will be bright, naturally we can see the shadow. Evening also there will be sun, we can see the shadow easily. So winter time, so that is not referred in this work at all. So here what will be strange? So there is seeing our shadow in the daylight is not a new thing. It is not a new thing. Whereas seeing our shadow in the darkness is the greater thing, and that is something different. So here once you become familiar with the theme of the poem To Brooklyn Bridge, so you can easily answer this question. So to answer this, so the answer is darkness. Question number 6. What, according to Emerson, is higher than intellect? Are they experience, character, education, scholarship? Very easily you can answer even without reading the text. This can be answered. So here, what is more important? What is higher than the intellect? Then higher than intellect means, so look at the option: scholarship, it is related to intellectual level; education, it is related to intellectual level. So you have to choose between these two, experience and character. So character is the answer. Next one. In which city is the play A Streetcar Named Desire set? So this is a direct question. So even a deeper level question is not asked from this. Just what is the setting of this work? So it is New Orleans. Next one. What is the name of this specific test that Biff and Bernard are preparing to take up in the play Death of a Salesman? So Biff and Bernard. So the options given: Regents, Cambridge Advanced Level, High School, as then FRCP. Actually, this particular incident takes place in Act 1 towards the end. So 7th scene we can call it. So in this particular scene, Willie, so that salesman, Willie Loman demands Bernard, he has to give the answers to Biff. But Bernard reveals that he's already helping Biff to cheat. So definitely he cannot help him in the Regents exam. So by that time Willie becomes very angry at Biff and he threatens him to beat. But at that time Linda, the wife of Willie, reminds that Biff stole the football. So that is also one of the reasons why he is not doing. So here the exact exam name is Regents. Actually the rivalry between Willie Loman's son and his boss son, so that is continuing, right? So it is the Regents exam. In some of the keys it is mentioned as the Cambridge Advanced Level test. Actually that is wrong. So Regents is the right answer. If you have any doubt, you can go through Act 1 Scene 7. So with that the questions from 2019 is over. So based on this we can say only 1 or 2 questions are asked at the deeper level, whereas other questions are at the surface level. Now let me go for 2017 questions. First one. Which one of the following statements aptly summarizes Melville's Moby Dick? So here even the knowledge of the theme and summary of this work will help you to answer this question. So option A, it is about the preservation of the giant whale. It is a search for the mysteries of man and nature and the universe. Third one, it is an account of the New England whaling industry. Fourth one, it is a revenge story of a monomaniac. So monomaniac means a person exhibiting an exaggerated or obsessive enthusiasm for or preoccupation with one thing. For example, if a person is interested in cricket, that person will be collecting more information about cricket and he will be watching cricket. Every time he will be thinking of that. That person can be called as monomania. Right. Actually, there are 2 similar works. One is Moby Dick and another one is Walden and the Sea. At the superficial level, so both stories are about the fish, whereas both the stories have got deeper meaning. So especially in Moby Dick, so it is about not only taking revenge or catching a fish, but it is talking about the inner mind of or the psychological journey of the characters. Like that, Old Man and the Sea, it is not only talking about old man and his ability to catch fish. No, it is about the human mind or human beings' willingness to struggle for survival. So based on this deeper implication, you can easily fix B as the answer. That is, it is a search for the mysteries of man and nature and the universe. So this question is asked based on the theme itself. Next one, good fences make good neighbors. In this passage, the speaker symbolizes the spirit of restraint, the spirit of revolt, a pragmatic spirit, an interactable spirit. Okay, this is one of the deeper level question. So here, why should a student prepare for PGTRB English exam or any other competitive exam only in English? Actually, this question will answer. If you are not familiar with the answers or the meanings of the given words in options, then answering this question is very difficult. Whereas once you are familiar with the answers or meanings of the given words, you can easily answer. For example, so good fences make good neighbors, you know that. If you have a small distance, a gap between your home and the neighbor, then the relationship will be better, right? So familiarity brings contempt. So that is the idea behind it. So the options given are the spirit of restraint. Restraint means just you control yourself. Restraint. You restrain yourself. The spirit of revolt. Revolt, fighting. So when you find an injustice, you are fighting against it. A pragmatic spirit. Pragmatic means practical. An interactable spirit. Interactable spirit, it is the just opposite of the very thing. So good fences make good neighbors. So it is just opposite. That means the last one, an interactable spirit means there is no need for any fence at all. So this particular work, this passage, the speaker symbolizes the spirit of restraint. How, though you like the neighbor, right? So how you have to control yourself, how you have to restrain yourself, so that you have to maintain distance, so that the relationship will be fruitful forever. The next one, The Owl in the Attic, was first published in 1941, 31, 35, 33. Actually, I have a small flashback for this. When we were teaching the students in 2017 for PGTRB, in one of the classes I mentioned that at that time I did not get this book. So I told the students, so I didn't get the book. So probably the examiners also will not get the book. So better you become familiar with who is the author and when it was published. So surprisingly that question was asked. So it was just a fluke, I would say. But anyhow, the question is very direct. In 1931 it was first published. In 2017. And one more information, now we have got the book and we have prepared a detailed lesson for based on The Owl in the Attic. Okay, fine. Then question number 4. The reference to Wall Pergin Snatch in the second act of Who is Afraid of Virginia Woolf is it a satire, elegy, euphemistic and allegorical? So first you have to understand what is the meaning of Wall Pergin's chant. So if you know this meaning, definitely you can answer this. Actually, it is like an elegant Elizabethan literary style marked by excessive use of balance, antithesis, alliteration. Here it is something which is known for its artificial language. Then the word Walpurgisnacht, the German word, actually it has the origin of German. It refers to the night before May Day. So that is the first day of May, when witches are supposed to meet together and create havoc. Actually it is the belief that so before May Day, so May is the month of celebration. So just ahead of May 1st, the witches join together and they plan for something big, so to do harm to the people. So anything called a Walpurgisnacht is supposed to have a nightmarish quality. This term relates to the second act of Albee's play, this work. So here it is a pagan myth. So it is a pagan myth in which Albee uses it to show the breakdown of modern civilization. So how conservative modern ideas like church and family are all collapsing in this act. Please make a note of it. In one way, this can be called as an absurd work, like waiting for Godot. So only meaninglessness is there. So nothing is permanent. Even the existence of God is questioned. So from this, what is more important? The particular word refers to the set of nightmarish thing. So it has the origin of Germany. So based on the witchcraft. Okay. Why does actually the question is, why does Albee uses this particular word in this particular act 2? So it is not eligible. Look at all the options. Let me just come from the bottom. Allegorical refers to something like Pilgrim's Progress. Even some quality becomes a character. So here it is not like that. Definitely it is not allegorical. Euphemistic, it does not come in that category at all. Euphemism, it does not come at all. It is distant. Then elegy here, elegy written in a country church, or a work that laments the work of or death of someone, loss of someone. So that is also not used. So here Albee uses this word for satire. He is satirizing the modern society. That's all. So the entire work is satirizing this particular work. So here, especially when this particular word is introduced in the question, it is not necessary you have to get confused. So even if you do not know that, if you go through the work options patiently, very easily you can answer. It is a drama. So because Act 1, Act 2 is given. Then allegory is mostly associated with short stories and novel. So that option you can remove. Like that, elegy, it is related to poetry. So like that, one by one option you can remove. So finally satire. So the entire work objective of this particular work, Who is Afraid of Virginia Woolf, is a satire. So satire is the answer. H.T. Thoreau's Walden was based on his life at Walden Pond from. So it is a direct question. So let me give you the answer. So July 4, 1845 to September 1847. Then in Emily Dickinson's Because I Could Not Stop for Death, death is objectified through the figure of the here. So actually from the in 2019 also almost the same passage contains the question. So here how death is symbolized. So children, no, definitely morning. So grains, middle age, already I told you. Then the driver, one who is just driving that vehicle, definitely not. Setting sun. So it is a very basic question. So morning, noon and evening, which symbolizes death, means naturally evening. So setting sun, evening sun. Which of the following statements are true of Whitman's passage to India? Is that transcendental forecasts the spiritual unity of mankind, sees the present as an outcome of the indefinite greatness of the past, celebrates the 4 feats of engineering. So just based on the introduction to this book, Passage to India by Foster, so you can easily fix the answer. So all these things are discussed. There is transcendental unity of mankind. Everything is celebrated. So the answer is the last option, A, B, C and D. Earth's the right place for love. I don't know where it is likely to go better. The above lines are from. So even if you just Google it, you can easily take it. Definitely it is not road not taken, Mending Wall, westerning Brooks. The answer is Birches. Right. So here, what does it say? This is the last question here in 2017. So basically we understand questions are asked from different directions at different level. There were some questions based on the year, name and act, surface level questions. There are some questions based on the textual lines. One is, this question is just this particular line is from, basic question. But there are some questions that are asked, like in 2019 it was asked, so based on that line your understanding is checked. Dear friends, preparing for a competitive exam, especially in this competitive world, is really challenging. Of course, each one of us has got our own personal commitments. Mostly you people will be working. It is very difficult to balance your work, your family, and exam preparation and taking the exam. So in this case, a center like us can help you. So the biggest advantage and strength of our center is each and every work except a few for which the texts are not available, except 2 or 3. All the works are discussed in detail. So you can go through all our free videos. You can just decide so where you can get the help for your preparation in a better way. If you feel joining us in this journey, please call us in 6381458485. Thank you very much. All the best.